Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. This is Lisa Holder, Communications Officer, and I have with me today John Polk. John Polk is the Recreation Supervisor for the Parks and Recreation Department, and he runs the youth baseball program for the City of Sanford. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Lisa. Thank you for having me.
And I must say, John is wearing a Florida Marlins hat. Yay, go Marlins, but there's a reason why.
But it's the only orange hat I had in stock that would match my blue shirt to go with my Gator colors.
Okay, I'll say it. Go Gators, even though I'm a Hurricane.
Gator Nation.
Uh-oh. All right, so this morning we're going to be talking about youth baseball, which is a great opportunity for our community, our city, our residents, and we have some wonderful things to offer our kids. And so let's get started, John. Why don't you share some history about it? And, how long have you been with the City of Sanford?
I've been with the city now 6 years in my position. But as part of this program, when I was a youth in the city, I played in this same program when we had the fields down at Fort Mellon, at West Side, and Bay Avenue. So I grew up in this system, so it's a joy to come back to that and give back to the kids in this community.
That is pretty wonderful. Wow. All right, so John, let's get into the history of the program and what we've got going on. I know we're entering into a new season. That's why this podcast could be timely for those listening. So let's start it. Let's just jump right in. Youth baseball for the City of Sanford. Let's go.
Well, our program is affiliated with Cal Ripken Babe Ruth Baseball. We have two distinctive seasons, spring, which is February through June, which is coming up, and then our fall season, which we are in now, which runs through August through November. The spring and fall programs are vital to our community because by offering an organized and structured baseball program that any child, regardless of skill level, can play and learn this great game. Now we have T-ball, we have rookies, we have minors, we have majors, we have a junior division, and we also have a senior division. Our divisions run from the ages of 4 years old all the way up to 18.
Okay. All right. So what a nice age span, right? For families.
Correct.
Parents.
Now all of our 12 and under kids play at the Y.D. Eckstein Youth Sports Complex, better known as Chase Park. And all of the older kids, 13 through 18 years of age, they play at the historic Sanford Memorial Stadium and or Zenbeck Field, which is located behind the stadium.
Okay, where's Chase Park?
Chase Park is located at 1500 Celery Avenue, Sanford, Florida, 32771.
Okay. And so for folks to hear more information about these programs, we can always send them to our website, correct? Or You
can visit the city website, or you can visit our baseball website, which is sanfordyouthbaseball.com.
Great. Okay, and the website is sanfordfl.gov, but it's sanfordyouthbaseball.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so what about, how do you run the program? There's probably minimal staff. You rely on volunteers, I'm sure, correct?
Well, we rely on a lot of volunteers, and we couldn't do it without our volunteers. In a typical season, in the spring, for an example, we had 406 players. And in our spring season, that's through all age brackets. Now, of that 406, we had 35 girls playing.
All right. That's good to hear.
We are definitely a co-ed league here. But again, we could not do it without the help and support of our coaches. We had over 100 volunteer coaches that help us out in the spring season. And we have about 70 that help us out in the fall because we're a little bit smaller because we compete with flag football and also tackle football.
Right. So typically, so you say there's spring and fall. So typically, I guess baseball is in the fall, but like you're saying, football is kind of like hyped up for kids in high school, right, during the fall time.
Sanford has always been a historical football town in the fall. I think all sports suffer from that. But, hey, as long as the kids are out there getting some exercise, getting involved, getting off the couch, that's great.
And so that's such a great point that this increases health and wellness and quality of life for our kids today, because there's always that notion that kids are at home playing video games and they're not out, and about getting fresh air and exercising. And what a great all American game is baseball, and for girls to be able to play too is pretty awesome. Is that common amongst like municipal leagues and things, or is that just different for Sanford, or is it a new trend?
Well, other programs offer a girls softball program. Unfortunately, at this point, we do not. We are looking into that. But regardless of whether they're male or female, each child should be given the opportunity to play this great game of baseball.
All right. And so going back, and I agree with you for that, but going back to your volunteers, you do have opportunities for them, and there's background checks. And how do people get involved if they want to help out with this amazing program?
They would need to contact me. They can either email me at john.polk@sanfordfl.gov, or they can reach me on the phone in my office at 407-302-1021. At that point, when they express an interest in coaching, I have a coaching packet, a background packet that has to be filled out. It has to be notarized, and once it's returned to me, then I set them up for fingerprints. The reason we do fingerprints, and we're different from other cities, other programs, they do just a name and social security number search. Well, that tends to lead to maybe a brother, maybe a person that has a similar name. We do fingerprints. That way there is absolutely zero chance of misidentification. We do a Florida criminal history search. We do a national criminal history search as well. And then I run all of the coaches through the Predator database, which is offered through FDLE. The kids' safety is our absolute top priority.
Okay. Again, the kids' safety is the City of Sanford's top priority. And so in relation to this, you have quite a bit of people, youngsters that have signed up, and the growth is unbelievable, correct?
Correct. Since our 2016 season, we have experienced a 44% growth in our spring season and a 54% growth in our fall season. So the numbers are going up, the word's getting out, and it's a great game to promote and play. And I'm just thrilled that our numbers are hitting those numbers.
Right. And so, John, you're going to be accepting registration for spring coming up soon. Is that correct?
For our spring 2020 season, it should open up around the middle of November, towards the third week in November. And you can go online, again, to sanfordyouthbaseball.com and fill out the registration form online. And
what is the cost, typically?
Our T-ball cost, which is the ages from 4 to 6 years old in the T-ball division, is $35 for the season. What that gets you is the uniform shirt, the cap, and all of the games, practices at our facility. $35.
Yeah, that's
cheapest
amazing.
around.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Everybody above that, from rookies through seniors, is $70 a season. And that also gets them their jersey and their cap as well.
And so, how long is the season, if I may ask?
In the spring, we will start practicing in the month of February. We will usually have our opening day ceremonies the first week in March, and then we should finish up regular league play by the middle of May. Once we finish regular league play in the spring, we select an all-star team in each age bracket, and then we will go play the all-star tournament in the month of June. Once that concludes, then we take a little break, and then we start practicing again in the month of August for our fall season, and start playing the first week in September through the middle of November.
Okay, so that's kind of what you're in right now. That's what you're doing right now.
Correct. Yes, we are in the midst of our fall season.
And so can people come out and just take a look and be a spectator to see if they want to have their children join the program?
Absolutely. Funny you mentioned that. We had a story. A young man came to our complex and wasn't quite sure that he wanted to play because he was new. I said, why don't you take a few nights, come out, watch some games in your age bracket, see how you like it. So he did, and he came back to me. I said, well, what was the verdict? He goes, I really like this. I want to play. So
Yeah.
He signed right up, and he's still playing our system today.
All right, great. And so you market your program, obviously. How do you actually market to the youth of City of Sanford?
Well,
and this is only open to residents, is it, or do you?
No, we could do non-residents, but the fee, there is a $10 upcharge for non-residents. in each one of the age brackets. Each season, I will put out in the city big banners, so please look for those along the roadways.
Okay.
With our contact information and who to call. I also visit the daycares, put information out of the daycares. I also visit the schools and put information out there for to be able to put out to all the kids. I also do email blasts from registration forms when they have signed up before.
Right.
Just to kind of remind the parents, hey, we're fixing to open up our season again, because we fill up fast. And that's the most disappointing part of my job, is to have to tell a child we're full.
Right. And so how many do you accept approximately? Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, it depends upon how many coaches we have in that specific division. Like I said, we had 406 kids last year, which included 12 T-ball teams.
Okay.
That's the 4 to 6 year old bracket.
Right.
And
yeah. So if you have youngsters and even young ladies, young girls come out to the, where can they go now at this particular time to have a spectator experience? Where do they?
They can go to our field at Chase Park, Whitey Eckstein Sports Complex, located on Celery Avenue.
Okay.
And we have games on Monday nights. We have games on Tuesday nights. We practice on Wednesday and Thursdays. And then we have games all day Saturday, not only at Chase Park, but also either at the stadium and or Sunday.
Okay. So today's Monday. So every Monday moving forward, they can come out until when's the end of the season?
We're about 2 weeks out from concluding the season.
Okay.
So if you need to come out, come on out now.
Okay.
But like tonight, we have 2 rookie games that's our 7 and 8 year old division. That's machine pitch.
All right.
That way, because the kids might be a little bit afraid of the ball from someone pitching. The machine delivers the ball over the plate accurately and consistently.
Nice.
So it gives them a little bit of a comfort zone to be able to learn the proper mechanics of hitting.
Wonderful. That's great. All right. So so you're focusing on this season, the fall. You focus on teaching the fundamentals of baseball, and players usually that play out in the outfield in the spring will teach them an infield position in the fall. I understand.
Yes, we are very competitive in the spring. We do play for trophies in first place. In the fall, it's just the complete opposite. It's very important that we focus on teaching the fundamentals of baseball. And that each child, if you have a child that normally plays in the outfield, teach them an infield position. If you have a child that wants to try pitching, allow them to get on the mound to get some experience, because you might find a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Plus, it builds the kid's confidence.
Wonderful.
I'm a firm believer that life lessons can be taught in this game.
Certainly.
Through sportsmanship, through teamwork, through responsibility, of being on time, of knowing your responsibilities on the field.
Right.
Not having a negative attitude, always lifting your fellow player up.
Right. Learning what it means to be on a team.
Correct.
That's important. At learning that at a young age would definitely be a great attribute, life skill. So, is there anything else, John, that you wanted to say? Volunteers, I'm sure there's a lot of adults listening out there. Please, if you know a neighbor, friend that is interested, has some spare time. When is the practices? They're usually in the evening.
The practices are usually on the weeknights from 6 to 8. I give them a 2-hour block. Now, T-ball, because we have so many T-ball teams, I usually start them at 5:30 in the afternoon, and the practice lasts for an hour. If we can keep their attention for an hour, we're doing good.
Yeah.
As the old adage says, coaching T-ball is like herding cats.
Yeah. It's so cute to see them on opening day, too. All of the teams and everything out there. That's a wonderful spectacle, right?
It's absolutely the best. This past year was the first year it did not happen. Usually, as the T-ballers are called out onto the field, they'll try to locate their parents in the stand. They will wave to their parents. Unfortunately, one of them will trip.
Right.
The other ones are not looking, and next thing you know, we have a big pile of crying kids because they tripped, but they get up, dust themselves off, and proceed.
Children are resilient. But it's all in good fun, and
absolutely.
We our youth baseball here in Sanford, Florida is so it's a thriving program, And we invite everybody who's listening and friends of these listeners to share this information, because there's an opportunity to register for the spring season. And John, I want to thank you for being on the show. How do they reach out again, real quick? What's the website?
SanfordYouthBaseball.com, or my office number is 407-302-1021.
All right. So thanks so much, John Polk, Recreation Supervisor for Youth Baseball in the Parks and Recreation Department here at the City of Sanford. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, listeners. This is Lisa Holder, Communications Officer. You can listen to this podcast or find this podcast on where you get your favorite podcasts, as well as the Sanford website, sanfordfl.gov/podcast, and SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and TuneIn, etc. Social media. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.